Good morning, Bethel United Methodist Church, and good morning, church family. Well, I'm on my way to work, and if you know me, then you'll understand this a little bit. So I'm really an Easter person. Ooh, having a bad hair day. I'm really an Easter person. I love Easter. If I had to choose between Easter, Christmas, any of the holidays, I would choose Easter because of, for me, what it signifies, the symbolism, well, not even symbolism, the actual act of sacrificing oneself for the betterment of everybody. That is just it's a humbling thing to read about, let alone, experience through scripture. So, let me go ahead and just take that out so that piece can be by itself. So as I'm reading and getting caught up in Easter, and getting ready, I'm struck by the Last Supper, because let's think about it. Today is Wednesday, so by tonight Christ will have been arrested. It's today the official Passover begins. But anyway, so he's sitting there at his Last Supper, and he's talking to, well, actually, tomorrow is the Last Supper. Yeah, tomorrow night. Sometimes I get confused when I try to do that. But, so he's sitting there, and he's surrounded by his best friends. He's surrounded by his inner circle, the people that have walked with him for the last 3.5 years. The misfits, the vagabond, the island of misfit toys, if you would. They have been unto themselves, walking the land with Rabbi Jesus and talking to the masses. And it started to get me thinking, who sits at your table? Because everything preceding the trial, the crucifixion, and everything else, Jesus did with his best friends. And being who they were, they even argued who was Jesus's best friend. No, I want to sit here. And Jesus squashes those qualms by what? Washing everyone's feet and reminding them that it's the heart of a servant that will get you into heaven, and serving others. But even whenever Jesus goes to the Garden of Gethsemane, he takes his friends with him. For this very intimate moment, he takes Peter, John, and I think Mark, to the garden with him, and he sits and he talks to Christ. Or he talks to God, rather. There's our Christ, and he's taken his friends, and who knows why he chose those 3. Maybe he chose those 3 opposed to the other, 9, because these were the guys that he knew he didn't have to be strong for, that if he cried, they wouldn't freak out. But it got me to wondering, who sits at your table and who prays for you? Who is your inner circle? Because if you've noticed that Jesus walked and believed in small groups, and he preached in small groups, and he relished in his small group, and the church has even, talked about small groups. So who is in your group? Who is in your circle that prays for you when you're having hardship? That sings your praises whenever you need it? Who is in your circle that can comfort you? That's really an important question. Because as we come upon Easter, and we come upon the sacrificing of the lamb, his inner circle ended up becoming the pillars of the church. They became what was built on his legacy, on his teachings. What will you leave behind? Who are the people who walked with you and who walks with you? If you notice that although Jesus had chose ordinary people to walk with him, a tax man, which was awful, fishermen, he didn't change and become what they needed. He didn't become sinful. He didn't become a tax collector. He changed them with his presence, Who have you changed? And who will be there for you? These are my questions for you right now, because it's important, especially during this time where we're all told as Christians, because of this COVID-19, that we have to separate. Who is going to be there if you have to call someone and say, I need help? Who will be there? Oh, temperature check.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Who will be there if you get on Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I need someone to talk to? Who do you FaceTime with? Who is in that inner core that helps you walk the spiritual walk? Who do you tell your spiritual ambitions to? Your regrets? We can't just talk with God. We're human. We're designed to be together. Even Christ knew that. He had 12 that he stayed together with. Who are you designed to be with? Who walks with you, talks with you? Who do you miss now, especially since the church doors are not closed, but encouraged not to open right now out of safety for the masses? You could almost think that, it's a sacrifice, but it is. We're sacrificing coming together for the betterment of the overall society, and it's only temporary, just like everything else. So who do you reach out to? I'm challenging everybody today, because we are now, I think, on the 20th day since everything's been closed. Maybe a little bit more. I don't know. They all blur together. But we've been together we've been alone inside our own homes. And it's starting to show. So I challenge everybody to pick up the phone, get on Facebook, whatever it is you use to communicate with your people, and call them, write them, send them a letter, something to let them know that you have not forgotten them and they have not forgotten you, that you remain pertinent for them, that you sit at their table and they at yours. So, your challenge today, church family, is to come out of isolation via phone, text, Facebook, FaceTime, video chat, ever how you have to do it, and check on the folks that sit with you. Well, I'm here at work and I have rambled, but I knew what I wanted to talk about, and I didn't really get to it till the end, but promise, I haven't had coffee yet either, so call each other, check on each other, pray for each other. Thank you, church family. Talk to y'all later. Bye.